let's start while we are waiting for others from very brief agenda of what we're going to cover today, because our time is limited to roughly 1 hour. I don't know, Iman, if you aren't against, and if we have additional questions, we can stay a bit longer here and to answer and to address these questions. But in any case, if guys, you will have any questions, those who are here live on Zoom or those who are watching the live stream or even watching the recording, you can freely reach out to me, to Iman. You can access both of our profiles on LinkedIn. So you're free to connect with us and to chat with us to initiate that. And during the introduction, which will be like the first part of our agenda, I will show you my contact details, and Iman probably will tell more about the ways how you could connect with him and to get his insights. So the first thing what we're gonna do, we will introduce who we are, what we do, and why the hell we are doing this party. Like, we are not paid to be here. We just have fun here and share some knowledge, share some insights. And Iman even will share a really valuable gift with you. So the next thing what we're going to cover, we will talk about 16 business critical features for products that target SMBs and enterprise level. I mean products, software products. And Iman will take the stage from here and will explain what are these critical features. Then we're going to have a discussion, and I will even ask you, our participants, to estimate how much time you spend or you plan to spend on building these features. And Iman will share what were estimations of building these features and what were real facts, like how long did it actually take to build these features. Then we're going to talk about interesting topic, and I will be totally transparent that for me, when Iman introduced this concept, it was the first time I heard about it, soft launch of a feature without re-releasing. I thought, gosh, you're building the feature, you're installing it, you're releasing it. But Iman said, well, the smartest way would be to do without re-releasing, to do it as a soft launch. And Iman will explain what it is, how to do it, and how you can benefit more out of that. Eventually, those who are live, those who are watching live stream, and maybe even those who are watching recording, I don't know for how long Iman will keep it live, like keep live this gift, but it's still a gift for $1,500. I just calculated that. And, let's keep it till the end of our event. There is no trick, and this is not like a marketing trick, but if you would feel that the thing that we are talking about, the tool that we are talking about, you will have an opportunity to get half a year of this tool absolutely for free. And you can do a lot of stuff within this half a year. So, and very simple rule, if you have any questions, you can ask these questions at any time. So from time to time, I will put an eye on our Zoom chat to see if there are any questions. While Iman will be covering the topic, I will check on my profile on the LinkedIn event page. If there are any comments, any questions there, we will also address them. But obviously, the most fun stuff would be that if you would simply turn your camera, turn your mic, and simply shout out your question. Hey, guys, I want to ask about this like terrible situation or this opportunity or whatever. So you're free to ask questions at any time. If we see that we need more time to handle these questions, maybe we will address them at the end of the call. Maybe we will have to arrange a separate meeting. So let's brawl, and very briefly, who am I? So I'm not sure who's watching and who will be watching the recording. So very brief intro, who am I, what I do. I help SaaS founders get their first customers, and we do so by implementing the double sprint method, which helps you to get to 4 key milestones, to get real world feedback so that you are building products that customers love and are ready to pay for. We help you to craft revenue ready demo that actually converts prospects, leads into really paying customers. We also achieve early adopters advantage. We help you to leverage that. And eventually, we, together with you, build your customer waiting list. So imagine when you're building the product, when you're developing your SaaS, simultaneously, you are building the waiting list of customers who are willing and eager to get their hands on the product that you are just building. So when you've built the product, you have the list whom you can inform and say, hey guys, we already built it. Now you can swipe your credit cards and to have access to this product. This is the double sprint method. If you're not aware, I will share the link where you can get it absolutely for free, so that simultaneously you develop the product, you develop the business about that. And when I start working with SaaS founders, usually we start with doing the double sprint audit. And technically, this is the perfect situation how the double sprint method should be implemented. But once we do the audit, we see different cases and different steps that need your priority attention, Or sometimes we see that it simply doesn't make sense to continue your project development until you nail one or few different steps. So if you would be curious to get this double sprint audit done for your project, you can go to doublesprintmethod.com/audit and book the audit with me once you're ready. And a quick note for follow-up, if you were interested into getting your first users before the launch, paying users before the launch, you can find me by joining Facebook group, Founders Launching SaaS, or simply scheduling a quick 15 minutes call with me. And, no strings attached, just to see what you are doing, what you are building, if I can help you, how I can help you. It's absolutely free, no strings attached. Just schedule the meeting. And it won't be the meeting with my gatekeeper. It will be directly meeting with me. So you have access directly to me. And now here's the intro for Iman. So who is this guy and why he's like a legit person to talk about business critical features for B2B SaaS in 2024? Not for those features that were, relevant in some time ago. No, what is relevant right now? So Iman and Oscar are two guys who worked together for a decade. And you said it was 3 days or 5 days ago when it was exactly the date when you started working together.
I looked it up. It was 1st of July. That was the 10-year anniversary. And I'm sad to say, Oscar, we missed it. We need to celebrate.
So you have the upcoming weekend, and it's probably going to be a celebration of your partnership building products.
Definitely.
And by now you've built at least 25 B2B software applications. Is it correct? And you can introduce more about yourself and share your experience.
Absolutely. So, I and Oscar have been working since 2014 together, and we built 25 specifically B2B SaaS applications. And to clarify, it's not MVPs. These are, some applications are pretty heavy where they do scientific computing on supercomputers. Some are more the conventional B2B SaaS apps that we know. We've been working in a lot of different industries. It's been, very early on since 2016 in the AI space. We've been working in the construction industry. We worked with banks and other compliance-heavy industries. So the applications have been very, very different. And 3 years ago, we founded a company called Nebula, where we said, let's take what we know and make it more systematic. And what we experienced up until that phase was that as time has gone by from 2014 to 2021, we have gotten less and less time for the creative aspects of our work. We have gotten less time to build the cool features that our audience wants, and we have to spend more and more time on the actual business critical features, making sure that customers have a smooth experience when they log in, sign up, that we can help them on the back office, and making sure that everything is running properly. As the lifetime of the applications has expanded, we have gotten less time to do the stuff that we actually love. So what we said when we started Nebula is whenever we build something new, we should have everything, all of these business critical things ready day one, so we can spend more time doing what we like and what gives value to our end users.
And for me, for a marketing coach, I work with startups in terms of marketing and sales. Building innovation, building that innovative stuff around the software is the most critical part because it gains you a competitive advantage. So why the hell should you focus on building and working on mundane tasks, on doing repetitive tasks, instead of building what actually gives you an edge in the market? And that's actually, I believe, that the good starting point for us to turn into those critical features. So I will stop sharing my screen, and I know that, Iman, you have a giveaway resource. So you can, if you wish, you can share your screen so that everyone can see it. And you can go through these 16 business critical features and explain from your perspective why it is, and if anyone has any questions, any doubts, maybe opposite points of views, okay, you are here to ask these questions and to have this discussion, but it's based on the experience of more than 25 applications built, not MVPs, but true softwares.
Yes. So before I start sharing what we like when we started formalizing it, so why did we even get to this phase where we were like, okay, these are the 16 business critical features we need, and this is what we need onwards. So let's take as an example, one of the first B2B SaaS apps we built that we founded the company ourselves. It was called Homemaker. Very similar to when you go to a car reseller and you can see the car and you can choose the colors and what like the interior looks like. We did that for the construction industry. And yeah, very similar to Donata's method, we had learned that don't build anything unless you know you have paying clients. So the journey actually started off being very, very naive and say, hey, we can do something in the construction industry. Let's just call a couple of companies and see what we can do. We identified the use cases. We saw that there's about 10 companies that want this, and we started building it. At that time, imagine this was 2014, customers were a lot more forgiving. We could build a lot of things and still, make money and manage to do a lot of stuff with the back office. For example,
fix things on the go. Like if something arises, like a bullshit coming out of the product, you can fix it on the go.
Exactly.
It was possible at that time, but probably not anymore.
Yeah, the requirements have changed a lot. So for example, you could log into our app, you couldn't sign up. We could sign you up. That was one thing. We had to, go through and, go through like a setup procedure that could take like 1 or 2 days from us before a client could actually use the product. That's not really acceptable today. People just want to sign up and get going. That was one of the things, but also the clients that were using our tool, they had 2-3 year long projects with like hundreds of people involved, and everybody shouldn't see all of the parts of the app. You had people that were working in finance that should see parts of the app. There were people that were customer facing, talking to home buyers that they should see some part of the app. And there were people that were building stuff. They should see another part of the app. And in 2-3 years, people go and come and go. So there's a lot of rotation. And we didn't have any back office tool to, just remove users or handle it. And we didn't give the users, our users, actually any means to do this. So there was a lot of time going on. And that's just one feature, one of the business critical features. So take that times 16. We ended up in a state where Oscar had to take, I think, 2 or 3 meetings with our customer success managers to just ensure that everything is properly set up with our users. There was a lot of time that was just creeping up. I make the similarity of, imagine you have a house with a lot of small cracks, and all of a sudden you're turning on the pipe and it's just dripping, but all of a sudden it's flooding.
So you mean you had to have 2 to 3 meetings with each customer you signed it up for using the software?
With our customer success team.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And then they had to, like imagine you have 50 clients and you have to just make sure that everything is working for them. Just the settings are good. The people that should be in the system are there. And then Oscar is also supposed to have time for developing new features, new ideas we have. And then I go and talk to a client and say, hey, we got this big client going on, but they have their own login system. So we need enterprise single sign-on. And he's like, yeah, I can do that. But then all of these other features that our 30, 40 other clients wants suffers.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up in a state where we always had to, like, challenges in prioritizing the backlog, right? Should we do stuff that are business critical, that brings in money today? But then again, we have 30 other clients that wants this and, can't pay more for this feature. We always had to choose our pain.
Yeah. So could we go into those 16 business critical features?
Let's do it.
You already emphasized the pain points. So I believe the audience is wishing to know, so how to get the solution to that, especially if they've been in the same shoes as you just described.
Exactly. So I can share my, I think you need to enable me so I can.
Okay. Yep. Now you can do that. Zoom updated the whole interface. So for me, it was also like fun stuff at the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, we can see your slides. Yeah, we can see these. SaaS readiness checklist. Cool.
So starting with Nebular, we said, okay, when we want to say that our products are ready for SaaS, we identified all of the pain points we had, similar to the ones I explained, and put them in different phases. What do we need to have to be ready to sell to small and medium businesses? That can be a one-man business. It could be a company having 200 employees. And then we have the enterprises that are 1,000 plus, 10,000 plus employees. What do we need for them? And actually, we want to be like the top apps, top SaaS apps that you are using. You have a certain feeling for them. You can do a lot of things self-managed. So what is required to get that done? And this is
by the way, Iman, do I understand it correctly that top apps means that you are at that level that you can charge premium, that you don't bargain on the price mainly, but you provide some extra value, some extra feeling, so that you are empowered to charge more than probably your competitors in the market. That's what makes you a top app.
To charge more because you made stuff a lot simpler for your users. At the same time, you made a lot of stuff simpler for your back office, meaning that your users get help faster.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. You're also making a lot of the features that, for example, enterprises are requiring. A lot of these basic features you could call like multi-factor authentication, that you might want to package features first in a specific way for them. Just be able to manage a lot of things in app. Things that enterprises require, but you might not have access to.
Okay. So can we go really quickly through each of those? If it's self-explanatory, that's okay. That's fine. But where is the difficulty? Looks like we can build everything. You can build a church, but it will take you 100 years to build it. Maybe there's a smarter way to do that.
Exactly. So if we go through like the SMB stuff, if you just want to sell, or if we want to sell to SMBs, there is some basic stuff we need. I mean, users should be able to sign up and log in by themselves. You should have a transparent pricing on your site, so they can go and choose a pricing for themselves and pay for it and start using the product. You need payments of some sort, preferably credit card payments. And then since it's an SMB product, you will have users with different roles. So you need some kind of role management. What you can survive with in this stage, maybe in the early stages, when you have a few clients, is that developers can still handle the back office tasks. If you need to change a payment plan or what features are in them, developers might need to do some changes and do a release. If you need to add new roles and connect them to new features, developers can help out with that.
So we could say that this is more or less like advanced MVP version. Some kind of, it's still some things could be done manually, like on the spot, on the go, but in general, you are ready to serve SMB market and you can start charging for your software.
You're ready to sell. You are beyond MVP. MVPs are nice, but it's tougher today to actually survive with an MVP. The requirements are much, much higher today. People are expecting something else from your B2B app. So, getting these things in place helps you to go beyond MVP, actually.
Cool. So now we should jump into enterprise ready, I believe. What's the difference? What needs to be added here?
So as soon as you start talking to an enterprise, they will have custom requirements that will go beyond your, tier-based pricing. They might want to add more users that you can provide. They might have, different requests for features that you want to add. So you need to be able to, package the features in a custom way for them. Of course, you can charge a significant premium here. So if you can charge an SMB client, maybe, I don't know, 1,000 to 3,000 annually, these are stuff that might be like 20,000 annually upwards. One big requirement they always have, like enterprises on average have maybe 300-400 SaaS apps. So they can't use your own login. They need to connect it to their login system. So
And
they can
it might be custom login system, probably not just
exactly.
like the Google or Facebook or LinkedIn verification. It can be custom.
It can be custom because that's where they manage their employees, give them the roles, their access rights, and they want to do everything in one place. So if you have single sign-on support, you are enterprise ready. Multi-factor authentication, they are running, they have a lot of certifications, security certifications, such as ISO 2701, and they usually have multi-factor authentication as a requirement. So if you provide that, you're checking off what they're requiring. And then, the number of users will increase a lot. So now you can't really handle stuff in a back office way with developers. You need to have a back office tool for user management and subscription management. So your customer success can do stuff without having, two meetings a week with your CTO to get stuff running.
And again, it gives you a competitive advantage because you can save your time and obviously can save your costs.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's surprisingly how much, these things creep up very fast from going to the MVP or greenfield stage to just like year one. If you're acquiring clients, you will see a lot of friction, as we'll go into later.
Yep. Okay. And now we are going to top apps. What's
Yeah.
there? Or we still have
So,
something?
top apps for us is, I can give an example. Like a top app is Slack, it's HubSpot, you or even Amazon Web Services. They have so good frictionless experiences that you can do a lot without even have to wait to talk to a customer success manager and they're on their site, right?
Yep.
You can buy HubSpot for tens of thousands of euro without even talking to a sales manager there. It's because they made stuff so frictionless, so you can get stuff going. You can manage your users, you can manage your subscriptions. If you actually need enterprise SSO, you can go in and set it up yourself. But also, one thing that we are not seeing on these tools is they have partner programs. They have partners in different countries that are, reselling,
Yep.
and they need to give them tools so they can manage their clients.
It's not, it is something behind the visibility line. As users, we can see some things, but not everything what's actually built in the software.
Exactly. Additionally, one thing that is a big requirement for us is like the back office stuff we should be able to handle it without developers. We might be revising our pricing strategy and what features are included in them. We might be adding new user roles, or we need to add new authentication methods. Just last year, there was a new authentication method that is much more secure than everything, passkeys. So every year there is something new happening, and we want to be able to add that without having to go ask developers all the time. So we want also, frictionless experience for our users, but frictionless experience for the organization also.
Okay, got it. So the next question would be, how much time does it take to build all these features, or like stage by stage? And you said that you will share your case studies, like you thought that this is going to take this much and that's going to take that much. But before we do that, I want to launch the poll and to ask our attendees how much time like they've invested in that. So there are just 3 questions. And for us, it would be really curious to know, like, what are your thoughts on that? Maybe you're a genius and you're spending not so much time on that, and you can build it, I don't know, with one click of a button, everything. Maybe you have something more than we even know. And meanwhile, Iman, you can proceed and share your own experience. How long did it take for you actually? And before the call, you actually mentioned that you had a discussion with your co-founder, and you saw, gosh, I thought it was so little, but the fact was it took the way more.
Yeah. So before we show you the timeline, like what we showed in this checklist, to get some context, what does in-app user management mean? There is a bit of a clarification here. We don't need to go through it, But this was the order that we started doing things because we knew that we're not going to be able to do everything at once. So when we were actually developing it manually, we brought forth a multi-step process here where we could say, like, if we do it in this order, we're going to give value to the organization, to the users, to the tech team all the time. So this is a roadmap that you can also use if you want to take things in stages. But if we would do everything at once, we have given a time estimate, and this is we went through our projects, some 20 of them, not all 25, and took the median value of how long would it take to do every single of these tasks. In some projects, we simply omitted some features. In some projects,
just to be sure, to become a top app or to become SMB and enterprise level.
Exactly. This is all the steps that you need to take to get to the top app. So check off the list. Correct.
Okay, cool.
So, some things took longer time in a project and some things took less time in another project. But on the median, this is what we saw from 20 projects.
4 months on average. If we take like 117 days, it's roughly like 4 months working solely on these features.
Correct. And you see, like, just if we estimate the development time, that's 70 days. But we forget about, like, it's almost like 46 days for testing and bug fixing. It takes much more time than you expect. If somebody has been renovating a home, you put everything up and then there's a lot of things that needs to be fixed afterwards. It's a great similarity. What's also not visible, this is just the initial time you put in, and then there is a lot of maintenance that needs to be put in. And those things creep up. So we put a minimum here now of 20 days because that's part of, how should I say, we just estimated how much time are we working on maintenance in these projects, and we roughly landed on 27%. And in some projects, it's actually like 50 to 60%. When they've been going on for many years. So
I just want to stress that maintenance only of those 16 features, nothing else. Only those 16 features.
Only of this. Maintenance includes, you need to do security updates. You will always need to do some code rewrites when you're adding new features. You will need to, you will always identify a bug 1 year later. And you also want to just make sure that you are running the security tests. And every time you are developing a new feature, you are also testing these features again, because you want to make sure that these are business critical. They should work no matter what. That's a term we call regression testing in software development, where you test all of the critical stuff, even if you have developed something that you are not assuming even will, have to do with this.
Okay, got it. So I can actually end the poll and share the results and to see, like, for me, it's actually curious to see these results. So I hope now everyone can see these results. Just let me check it out. If you can you see these results already? Iman, can you see that? Oh yeah,
I can see them. Interesting.
Yep. Okay, so most of the attendees have or had to spend more than 30 days. Yeah. Someone is pretty genius, less than 10 days. If it's not like a trade secret, the one person who said that you can build that in 10 days, maybe you could elaborate a bit more either in the chat or turn your camera on how you managed to do that. Because if I see like what Iman shares, he has to spend like 4 months to build all these features to become a top app. And maybe your application is smaller, or maybe you have like a hack to doing that. That might be useful for everybody else.
Yeah.
How much time do your developers spend on mundane repetitive tasks? So most of them, 1 day a week, less than 1 day a week, but somebody is spending like up to 2 days a week.
Yeah.
So it's probably not surprising. And how much time do your developers spend on building new features and true innovation? Somebody is lucky to be able to spend more than 50% of the time on innovation. But I know what you're going to share, Iman. You will show how it changes, like when you develop your software and how much time you can spend in terms of percentages on developing it, and to keep to keep going it, to maintaining it, it's dramatic change. And for me, it's no surprise that nobody here mentioned that they can spend more than 75% of their total developers' time on building innovation. You still need to do some mundane tasks.
Yeah,
Huh.
it kind of matches our internal data and also from reports we found outside that, the numbers that people feel here, it's, yeah, it matches both our internal data and the external data. So it's very interesting. So let's head over to the maintenance part.
Yep.
And as I mentioned, we started seeing that we spend less time on innovation. And to give you some, like at least a couple of numbers, this is how much we spend on maintenance in the different phases of a project. Of course, when it's a greenfield product we haven't launched yet, that's the happiest time. We can just focus on awesome development. And then as soon as we start getting our first users, you always have maintenance going on, because we will go through these repetitive cycles of regression testing. We need to ensure that the business critical things work all the time.
And something starts coming up, like something is wrong, something's not working, something needs like additional attention from developers. Like the more users you have, the more features you have, the more time you have to spend on maintenance.
Yeah. And the 30% in that case, when you are go to market, it's nothing bad, because you're going to have a lot of childhood diseases. It's going to be impossible to be bulletproof. Nothing is bulletproof in the beginning. So it's quite natural to have that. But what is surprising is that as the application lifetime keeps going on, this doesn't go down. This maintenance goes up. So an application that has lived around a year, you have around still 30 to 40% maintenance. Always, you are doing one security update. It is dependent on another code package that you're using, so you also need to update that. And all of a sudden, those very weird errors started happening in your app, and you need to go through a lot of work. So I think for one of our companies today, we spent 3 months last year only on upgrades.
Only upgrades, not developing something new, but just upgrading those features that you already built. You're just improving them.
Exactly.
So it means, if from marketing perspective, I would have to frame it, so it means you are not creating something new, you are just catching up the market to become relevant to the market, like that your features are up to date to the needs, to the demands from the market. That's it.
It's just to make sure that when we share a security report to a client, that it doesn't say that we have security issues because we have not updated our software.
Okay, got it.
And then we get to what we call legacy apps. We think that legacy apps is stuff from the 70s, but software has a shelf life. And between 5 to 10 years in the software cycle, you have had team rotation. A lot of embedded knowledge here has not been put out. So somebody else is coming into the code and looking at it, and they have to be very defensive and very careful about it. So things take a longer time. You have probably tried to postpone a lot of libraries that you don't need to update, but now they have gone out of support. So if you want to use a new feature, you need to update it. And all of a sudden, this time increases. So yeah, exactly 5 years into one of our products, a conversation analytics tool, we ended up in that phase. Wow. And that's probably the scariest thing. This is just maintenance. It's not even like adding a new business critical feature. It's just maintenance.
Looks like that the better product you build, the more features you add to it, the more time you have to devote on maintaining it. And it costs you more and more just to keep going, not just creating something new with it. And if it's a good time, I would like to jump into the soft launch, into that concept. What the hell is it, and how to do that without relaunching?
So one of the big maintenance factors for us was that developers will kind of squirm around this, that I say we test things on production. Because what you commonly do is you have a development or a testing environment and you test stuff there and then you push to production. But there is always discrepancies between your testing and production environment. So something that goes wrong in production might not go wrong in testing, and it's very difficult to reproduce. Very, very difficult. And it takes time. It takes more time to reproduce something than to actually fix it. So often it happens that we have to launch something on production and then roll back, which is a process that takes some time, and it actually disturbs the clients. So we were like, we need to do something about it, because right now we were, or not any longer, but before, we were staying up late nights when our B2B users weren't using the system, pushing everything to production, testing it, make sure
Like
that we're not disturbing anyone.
sacrificing your weekends, your sleepless nights to test out features when nobody sees, only you can see it. And if something goes wrong in the morning, you can have everything fixed as it should be.
Exactly. It's not very healthy in the long run.
Mhm.
So we were like, we want to soft launch stuff. And what that means is that we can push something to production. It's not visible for any user except for the account that we enable it for, or the accounts. And we test it. If it works, then we can push it to everyone with just the click of a button, no releases. Or if it doesn't work, we can just shut it down, fix it. The rest of the application works.
And
then
and everything works as it worked previously. No disturbance from tech side for any
exactly.
user.
Even better, if there is one client that sees a problem later on, we can shut down the feature only for that client.
Okay.
So this reduced the load on the tech team. They don't have to be like on top of everything all the time. They can actually like schedule it according to their own work schedule. If something goes wrong on a Friday, we can just shut that feature down until Monday. They can come back and, with a clear head, fix it.
Yeah,
That's such a valuable tool.
and nobody suffers from that poor launch of the feature because it was not public.
Nobody. It's fantastic.
That's truly cool. So we've talked about the issue, the problem that you need to build these features, that it costs you much of the time to do that, and it doesn't end when you build it. You still have to catch up with maintaining it, like recurring mundane tasks going on there. And I promised that you will give a gift for attendees of this event. But before they understand the value of that gift, I would like you to introduce the Nblocks, the solution that you built for this product. And if somebody from our attendees would like to know more about how the Nblocks works, so just maybe you could give us a quick demo. If somebody wants, like just put in the comments that you want that demo, and Iman, probably you could show the demo. Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, I already see that somebody says, yeah, it would be interesting to see, obvious.
Fantastic. I think I can, I put words on the cases we have, and demoing it makes very, very much sense. So to clarify a bit, when we started Nebular, like, why didn't we do this earlier? And as
Yeah.
we showed you, it's all in all, this takes like 170 days to build. So like not even Donatas, who helps companies to get to a initial client stage, you wouldn't have to say to them like, hey, you need to first spend 120 days doing all of this before you can
Yeah,
start selling to a client. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't
absolutely.
make business sense. It doesn't make sense for the invested time. So these hours were spread out under a long period. So that's what we said when we started Nebular, like, we don't ever want to spend these many days doing this again. How can we do this without having to read through documentation, update ourselves, doing all the maintenance? Can we get it day one? And that was the reason, we created Nblocks. It's a tool where you get a control center and you get all of these things day one. You can just plug it into your app, and your users will be able to sign up, log in, select a payment plan. You can actually choose what features that should be enabled or disabled for each payment plan, or for the different roles they have. You get tons of back office tools that gives you a lot of flexibility, that frees up time from your developers, so they don't need to manage users, manage the roles, or the payment plans and what stuff that goes into them.
So
So
If I
Yeah.
would summarize, would I be right that you are a SaaS for SaaS founders to solve these business critical features and to build them in a much shorter time?
Yes.
On your estimations, on your experience, how long does it take to implement these old features using Nblocks instead of, we already know like roughly like 4 months to build everything from scratch to top app. How much time would it require to start using Nblocks?
I created an explainer video where I also explain stuff, and
Mhm,
that whole video is 10 minutes.
mhm.
So, yeah, something around that. Let's say if you take your time a lot, 1 hour.
So you mean you can set up everything in 10 minutes, up and
Yeah.
running? Unbelievable. So
It's, yeah, it is like comparing to these 120, 117
yeah,
days, it is. And that's, the extent we wanted to take it to,
yeah,
because that means you shouldn't be able, you shouldn't have to read through documentation.
yeah.
It should be easy to set up, but you shouldn't even have to maintain it later.
That's the essential part. You build it and you forget about it because it's
And we
maintained.
really,
Like
really try to not reinvent the wheel here. We really try to use other tools, a combination of other tools, but we ended up, having to stitch together stuff, and we ended up having to maintain it and read documentation again. And we really wanted to avoid that.
great. So if the person knows his software quite well, has like all documentation he has had, and he knows how to
Yeah.
use Mblocks, he could do that like in 10 minutes, like let's say in half an hour, maybe in an hour. But for the founder who just heard about you like for the first time, who knows nothing about Nblocks, how long would it take to implement SMB ready features, enterprise level features, and to become a top app based on these features? Is it still 1 hour? But probably they will need your support, your help to put all the dots in the right place.
Yeah, I mean, you need some software engineering experience, and at the experience level where you can just type in one command, that's what you need.
Mhm.
So, I could say if you're like a junior developer, it works well. If you have zero software engineering experience, you might need some advice from us, and we can help out with that. So, if you're interested in that, and need like, an hour workshop or a few hours workshop to say, okay, I need to get started with Mblocks in my application. Can you advise me on the best path and how to do it? We usually set it up that way with clients, because they are not sure. Like, can you just guide us, and we'll help them out and give them some advice along the way. If you're interested in that, you are gonna get some material from us after this meeting, and you can book a meeting with us then.
Iman, could you go to that slide where this essential information is shown? I believe this is, yeah,
Yes,
this is the gift.
exactly. Exactly. So, uh, to get you started, it goes very fast, but so you can try it out. You have a gift code here. So
Checklist 2024. And
for
Iman, would you be able to share the link, like behind, like in the comment section of the LinkedIn event, so that anyone who's not on the call, so that later on they could download this checklist? I believe you will give away this checklist for them to see, like to put the
exactly,
dots, like, yeah.
exactly. So I think I saved the link here also, so you can.
Yep, you can put in the Zoom here, and I can repost it on.
I'm just trying to find the chat here. Um,
As I mentioned, Zoom recently changed the whole layout, and for me it was, oh, oopsie, how to go to live stream? I don't see that button anymore in the usual place.
so while I'm screen sharing, I can't see the chat, but
So
I'll just.
stop, yeah, stop sharing this screen.
Here you got the link.
Um,
Yeah. So you can just type in your email, and you're gonna get access to the presentation I had, and be able to just use, click the link, sign up, and claim the gift code if you want to use it. And you also have a meeting link there if you want to use it. And additionally, as Donatas mentioned, you can reach out to us via LinkedIn, and we'll help you out there also. So I think we were at a stage where we wanted to to show some use cases.
Yep. How it actually works in real practice. And by the way, guys and girls, I just want to share that this gift is not a marketing trick when you see somebody says, 5K value of whatever stuff they give away. No, if you go to Nblocks pricing page, you would see that you get that plan that usually costs $250 per month. You get it for free for half a year. So you can actually build, you can develop your app, you can fine tune it. And gosh, in half a year, either you get up and start running your SaaS business, or you need to do something about your business to make it a viable business. Something is wrong. So this is true valuable gift from Iman. And yeah, you will show now the real case, how it was actually implemented, to see behind the scene, what's inside.
Exactly. I will do this in two phases. I think it becomes most relevant if we show one of our existing applications that is using Nblocks. So this is North Whistle, case management tool that handles EU directive. And I'm going to show you what the users see when they are using Nblocks first. But then, to show you the back office stuff, I don't want to, shut down a feature that a user is using right now.
Obviously,
So
that
we
wouldn't be smart.
we have a demo app that I'm going to show you those steps in.
Okay.
So I'll start by clicking login here.
Yep.
And what you see here right now, this is Nblocks. Okay, this sign up box is Nblocks, and you see there is a possibility to sign in with Microsoft and just with the regular password. So I'll just go ahead and do this. Good thing I have the password tool because I never remember my passwords.
Me too.
There we go. I'm just signing in, getting a 6-digit code. This is something like, this is a compliance heavy tool. So we enabled this multi-factor authentication here. So I'm getting a text message. Oh, it seems like I got the wrong one. Let me just get it again.
So this actual verification already goes through Nblocks, if I understood correctly.
275, yes.
Yeah.
I'm getting a text message here, but I can't log in with it. But here's how we can solve it. What I can do is to switch my team settings here actually, and just this the multi-factor authentication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't need to show anything confidential, so that's
no, that's totally all right. So I'll just need to be able to navigate here. Oscar, you can assist me if you hear this. I'm just trying to switch to the Nblocks workspace to disable multi-factor authentication.
All right, so you need to log out because it looks like you're inside
Nblocks as an admin.
So click your avatar there to the far right and click log out.
There we go. And then I sign in here. All right, so we go in here. And I'll switch to North Whistle. So now you actually get to see the back office stuff in action. So we have an account here, Nebular AB demo. And
so you can actually run tests on that amount. It's account.
Exactly.
This is demo account.
This is something that we are using in our production.
And this is what you mentioned as a soft launch. You can turn on, turn off specific features, especially for this account, and to see if it works fine.
Yeah, this is one part of it, we can say. Okay. So there is multiple parts of it. So we just have to identify the right workspace here. I think this one, it says status MFA active. So workspace has MFA active. I will do this. I'll edit it and remove it and save. And then just go through the login process again. And I think I'm in the wrong workspace, to be honest.
Can't it be that you are already logged in and you try to log in once again?
It could be something like that. And we'll give it another try. Otherwise, I'll show you from the demo app.
We already saw the dashboard, how it looks like from the inside using Nblocks. It would be curious to see the actual functionality, how it goes. And
we can start by showing it. I think it's just me who's been messing up my settings. But I can show you the same thing from our demo application, actually.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine.
What you are seeing here is access just to a demo application. So and what we're gonna do here right now first is to show you, as I showed you, the login part is here, and we're gonna go ahead and sign in with Google. It's just the simplest one. And one really nice feature here is that, for example, in NorthWhistle, you can, as a case manager, handle cases for many different companies, but you can only get one account. So you have your email, and then the system actually identifies all of the different accounts that you're using, and it's going to say, okay, you got access to these ones. Which one do you want to use? So I'm choosing the dog spa from Stockholm.
Looks convenient.
Yeah. And now we're actually getting into the real app. This is what you've coded. This doesn't have to do anything with Nblocks. This is a dashboard for our doggy day spa. And we're going to show you a couple of things here. So first of all, you see that there is a couple of features here, Acme Plus, Acme Advanced. And what we're going to do is first take a use case where Oscar has developed a new feature. The feature is called Acme Professional. And he has released the feature, but I can't see it here. And it's time for me to test it. So what I do is I go to my control center. I just need to access the correct
project.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to the Nebler workspace, and we have the
app, the doggy day
spa. Exactly. So I'll start by finding the right workspace here. So it was Stockholm, I think it was called. Dog Spa Stockholm. So I'll search for it. I'll find it here. And we see here that there is 2 users. There is one Iman that I am logged in as, and there is one Iman admin.
Mm-hmm.
So what we are going to do first here is to make sure that for this email only, we can see the new feature that we're enabling. So I'm copying this email, and then I go to the tab Feature Control.
Oh.
Yeah. So we see Acme Plus, Acme Advanced, Acme Professional. And if we go to our app, Acme Plus, Acme Advanced.
Yep, only 2 features here.
Exactly. Let's enable Acme Professional. You see, it's
inactive for everyone. Yeah. Exactly. This is the feature that you've just built. You're not releasing it yet. You want to test it out.
Exactly. So what I want to say is that enable Acme Professional for just my account. So I go and create a new group here. Let's call it testers. And then I just go say, okay, testers, and it should only be enabled for the email iman@nebler.group. I save it here. I go back to my flags, click edit, and add the group testers.
Okay, now it will be enabled for this group.
Exactly. I'll activate the flag and save it. And it says active for selected groups. So now if I go back to my app and reload it,
we see
Acme Professional is there. So that's a really nice thing. Now I can test the feature, and when I gave it a thumbs up, I go back here and go here again and remove the testers group. and say, okay, this should only be available for my premium customers.
Okay.
Save it.
That's cool. We have more or less like 5 minutes. So if anybody has any questions, just drop your questions in the chat. Meanwhile, I would like to ask if you could show some other features. Probably like authentication is more or less understandable for everyone else, like how you can authenticate users and etc. But I believe that subscription control might be something a bit more interesting stuff. How can we manage our subscriptions? I mean, can we manage the structure of subscription package and to whom this subscription is attached to what type of user or maybe to specific users? So how the subscription control works actually with Nblocks.
Fantastic. It's a very good thing. To just give the 30-second part about the authentication is this part. Let me just log out from the app. You see the login screen.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go to authentication here, I got a bunch of methods to choose from here. So if I want to enable or disable something, if I'm gonna like add Microsoft or LinkedIn here, I'll just enable it. I have added some keys from LinkedIn already. I'll just reload it. You see I can sign in with LinkedIn. It's that simple. We don't need to cover it any longer. But the nice thing is subscription control. So first of all, we want to, of course, be able to pay with credit card. If you're using Stripe, for example, you can just enable Stripe here. And then the payment via credit cards goes via Stripe. What's really nice here is you can set up your plans here, as we have done. We have 3 different plans. We can give them a monthly and yearly pricing. So if I open up the basic here, I have created a plan. I said there is a free trial for 14 days. There is a pricing of 10 euros monthly, but if you buy it yearly, it costs 100 euros. There's a discount.
Convenient.
Yeah.
And looks very simple.
Yeah. So I can set everything up here. What happens here now is that when the buyer goes through the sign-up flow, they get the options to choose between these different payment plans and just select them and pay with credit card. So let me get the link for you. I know we did an update, so I'm just trying to. They were under settings before. Oscar, where have we moved the payment links? Oh, they are actually here right now. So there is ready-made links here actually. So to give you an example, if you go to northwhistle.pricing, these buttons here, they need links to the pricings, right? So if you say, I want to choose standard and try for free, you click here and everything is pre-selected for you and you can go ahead and pay. So here are the individual links for those things. You simply copy them and paste them and put them on your website. And then when the user goes there, they can just sign up and then automatically have a pre-selected plan. So that's one part of the subscriptions. But you also want to connect all of your subscriptions to what features should be enabled or disabled for them.
Yes, this is like the second part of the puzzle.
Exactly. You want to control your features based on the subscription someone has. So in feature control, as I showed you pretty much earlier, you can control features based on anything. The user roles, the subscription, an individual email. You can pretty much do anything. So what you do here is you go in and you can just create a group. So let's create a group for the basic. We had a basic package here. So I go to feature control, press groups, and I say basic customers. So, and then I said the field workspace plan equals basic. It's already there for you. And then you press save. So now, if you want to enable a feature for the basic customers also, you simply go into your feature flag, press edit, and you just add the group here. And now it's enabled for them also. It's that simple.
It's just in terms of few minutes you can make these changes. You just need to know what you want to get in your pricing, in your subscription, and in the structure of the subscription package. You can do it in just a few
The
minutes.
nice thing here is like when you're early stage, you don't know what you want and you're going to change it all the time. And I think Oscar is very happy that I can do it myself now instead of going to him every time I want to do this.
I wanted to make the comment from this side, like I'm not a tech guy, I'm a marketing guy, but if I see that I need to change pricing, I need to add some bonuses to remove something from one package to put it to another one package, I can do that without even a single click from developer. I can do that on my own. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah. And same thing with the pricing. You can experiment with it as much as you want. You might not know what authentication methods you want right now. You don't like the enterprise connections. It's just getting a URL from the client and you're done. No implementation needed. So it frees up a lot of, what we call the back office work.
So now our time is totally up, but my last question is, what's on your development roadmap? We already see what you've built, how it actually helps, but if we are thirsty for more, do you have plans to improve Nblocks, to add additional mumbo jumbo stuff on it? So what's gonna be with Nblocks in the future?
There is a lot of things that we have. I mean, the list of ideas is longer than I think the coming 6 months. I think we have long 2-year plan even, and there is a lot of features that we want to add. There is what we call the enterprise features, so that you can actually run Nblocks on your own data center, to just a lot of new features here. I mean, of course, expand on what we do, add more authentication methods, make the subscription control better, and all of those things. But one thing that is very close in the roadmap now is a lot of expansion in the feature control. That's been like a key thing that it creates the seamlessness in Nblocks. It gives you a lot of flexibility, and without the users, the subscriptions, the feature control wouldn't be as powerful. So we're working on improving that, perhaps adding analytics to it so you can do better beta testing for tools that are doing that. So you can, randomly assign users to features and do A/B testing, see what's working, what is not working. That type of stuff we're working on a lot. We're working on giving you a lot of flexibility on the stuff that the users are seeing, kind of a lightweight, you can customize the branding now, but we want you to be able to customize the layout also, so you can get more degrees of freedom. That's something that is coming. And then there is a lot of stuff that we're doing so you can serve your users better, in terms of being able to impersonating an admin on an account, so you can see how that works. So you can, when you are talking to a customer, say, can I just use the settings that you have, and you copy those settings and you're impersonating the user and they approve it, and then you can see what's happening. So there's a lot of different features we're adding and expanding here, and there's a couple of things that I don't dare to say, because I don't know if we are gonna publish them until they're good enough. So I would love to say them, but Oscar wouldn't love me to say them.
So that's why SaaS founders usually have public development roadmap and private. Like, that's not for everyone to see. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so Iman,
Oscar, you can share if there is something that you are very excited about. You can share it, so I don't get the angry eyes later.
Yeah.
I guess you can see and hear me, right?
Yes, perfect, Oscar.
Yeah, no, but we want to be on the top of minds of developers, and continuing providing a really stable and flexible way of building SaaS applications on top of. So we have a lot of nice ideas in the roadmap that we hope to get out as soon as possible.
Okay. And just a quick question: if you get a possible request from a potential client who says, well, what you already have, it looks like quite a nice thing, but I need one specific, feature or some, customization. Are you guys open for solving that customization, or, it depends on something? So would you have anything to say in advance if somebody says, well, it looks like interesting, but I have some buts, and would it
Yeah,
still be?
we are huge advocates in developing together with our users.
Cool.
So listening to what they need and actually making sure that we can align the roadmap towards it. That's the most exciting phase we are in. As more and more users are using it, they come up with different suggestions. Some are developers that are requiring something that makes frictionless for them. Some are SaaS founders that would love to have some other back office tools or a feature in our back office tool that they're lacking. And
Cool.
we love that type of feedback. And please reach out to us if you have something that you see like, hey, this would, make my life so much happier. We would love to listen to that.
Cool. I'm also a big fan of co-creation, creating products together with users, but I never do like creating the product for only one user. I want to see if somebody else gonna be using the same feature, the same product, so that I could, scale the business. That's the thing. But initially, to get feedback from the market, what's needed, that's an amazing source of information.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys for being here. If you have anything else additionally to share, please, the stage is yours, but I wanted to be respectful to everybody's time. We scheduled for 1 hour. We are a bit, already behind the schedule, but that's fine. That was truly valuable stuff, what I heard.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And thank you for hosting us.
Yep.
Been great talking about all of this and our experience. And yeah, really excited about this.
So thank
you
you.
very much.
Have a great day. Bye.